Do you want me? Oh, there we go. Hey, Georgina. Anthony. Hey there. How's it going? Georgina, what cool location are you in right now?
I'm outside of like one of the academic buildings, and it's like
Cool.
for all the presidential awards that they've gotten.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it looked like some kind of a monument. I was like, what is this? I like it. I'm in. I'm a fan. Anthony, what's going on?
Hello,
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I see you are the first here, well ahead of your peers. Did you come back early from lunch or something?
No, I just came back when the bell rang.
Okay, well, seems like a responsible move. I like it. I'm in. Um, awesome. Good to see you. How was your winter break? You do anything fun?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
How was yours?
It was good. Yeah, I got to spend time with family. My youngest brother got married, and I went and spent some time in the Philippines with people like Sheila and Kim who are on the call. So overall, I would say very successful winter break.
It's good.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you know that not all of our staff members, but many of our staff members, especially the ones who are on these calls, are actually based in the Philippines.
Really?
Um, yeah. Yeah. Hey, Sheila, what time is it where you are?
It's already 3:52 in the morning.
That's crazy. Thank you for being on the call, even when it's the middle of the night. Um, Okay. All right. People look like they're slowly trickling in. We've got Miss Finley on the call. Hey, Miss Finley. All right, Georgina, did you have a good winter break?
Yes, I did. It was wonderful. I
What'd
spent
you
a lot of
do?
time with my family and my friends.
Nice. Did anything
We would go
particular?
out to the mall and to the park. I'm starting to like walking more.
Oh, look at you.
Wait, yes, yes. So, like the walking around my campus is like so much easier now.
Okay. Oh, that's like easier in
Yeah.
terms of just like you're more in shape than ever.
Yes.
Nice. I love that. I know that when I went to college and campus is just so much bigger than high school, and my high school campus was pretty big, but college was just so much bigger, and it's exhausting to get from one place to another for sure. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you were able to have some good time with family and friends. Hey, people, I see everyone's trickling in. Estella, Melanie, Yadi, Brianna, Eduardo, Miss Finley, Isabella. I am looking forward to some turtles today. Alexander, good to see everybody. Awesome. Okay, while people are trickling in, we're gonna get started with a poll. So people are gonna pull this poll up, and it's mostly looking at some of those mindset things that we talked about last semester. This is gonna be things about setting goals, about comfort zone, all that stuff. So everything we covered last semester, I know a lot of you went to things like the campus tours and the ropes course. So whenever I think about comfort zone, I almost always think about the ropes course, which definitely expands me past my comfort zone. Awesome. Okay, so the first question here, when you set a new goal, what motivates you the most? So it gives you a few answers here. The excitement of starting something new, the vision of the end result, the challenge itself, and the accountability from others. All right, I see some answers starting to trickle in. Awesome. The next question there is what stops you most from stepping out of your comfort zone? Again, four answers here: fear of failure, fear of judgment, lack of confidence, and just not knowing where to start. Awesome. I love seeing these answers coming in too. It's pretty mixed right now, so that's interesting. Okay. And then the third and final one is if you could describe your focus for the next 12 weeks in one word, what would it be? And the options here are growth, balance, confidence, and consistency. And you might be wondering, like, okay, why are we using 12 weeks? But that's how many weeks we have in the Youth Champions program. So for these next 12 weeks, you and I are hanging out every week. Which I love, with the exception next week, actually, Pablo will be subbing. But in general, you and I will be hanging out every single week. And really excited to go through a whole new set of Youth Champions workshops with you all. Awesome. Okay, so the next thing I'd love, now that people are wrapping up some of these polls, I would love to know a little bit more about your winter break. Go ahead and put into the chat something awesome you did over winter break. It can be as simple as something you ate, something you drank. Maybe you had the best matcha of your life. I don't know what you're up to. So maybe it was hanging out with family, with friends, with something. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Okay. I don't know what this is, Anthony. I see binging Lego Ninjago. Can you tell me what Lego Ninjago is?
It's like a cartoon. It's like all about like ninjas.
You don't have to put your last name.
It's about, so it's a cartoon. Is it
Hmm.
like styled in the style of the Lego movie?
Uh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Kind of? Okay. Sure, sure. Awesome. Well, I really liked the Lego movie, especially the part where there's like a pony or unicorn or something that gets on a table and says business, 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 numbers, numbers, numbers. And I've never related to an animated character so much in my life. So go ahead, keep dropping these things in. Right now, only Anthony and Yadi have done things over winter break, which is awesome, but curious to hear more. So Yadi says, hang out with friends. I love that. Oh, here they come pouring in. We've got some going to eat ramen. That sounds so good. Melanie, how is the ramen?
It was really good. It's like my favorite place.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Awesome. Is it far? Downtown San Pedro is kind of far from you, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
We
Um,
got a ride, so that's
okay,
fine.
nice. Okay, okay, cool. Hanging out with friends, going to the mall with friends, lots of friends things, going to the gym, getting swole. Love that, Estella. Went to Universal Studios. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Hey, Eduardo, at Universal Studios, what was the best thing you saw or did?
That's all.
I went on a roller coaster, the Mummy.
Oh yeah? How was
Hmm.
that was the do you are you a big roller coaster fan in general?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, what's the best roller coaster you've ever been on?
Probably one at Six Flags called Goliath.
Oh my gosh, that was the hottest thing when I was like 10. I don't know. It was brand new back then and people were just going wild about it. So love that. I also like roller coasters, but sometimes they give me headaches. Um, I like this though. I like your roller coaster spirit. Okay. Seeing a few more, hung out with family. I love that. I did that a lot this winter break too. Spending time with my boss and VAs. Yeah, Sheila, I see you. I just got back from Southeast Asia, where a lot of the team is actually based out of. So Kim and Sheila here on the call are actually both in the Philippines. And so I went and spent time with them. Ellen says, I went out with friends. Ooh, Daniel's like going to a buffet with my closest family. That's wonderful, but buffets are fun too. Um, awesome. All right. So as we go, I like Alexander is just ready to learn. Alexander is pumped, ready to go. All right. So we are going to end the poll here, and I'm going to share these results with everybody. Um, You'll see here some interesting stuff. Okay, so when you set a new goal, what motivates you the most? The number one answer was the vision of the end result. But comfort zone, I think this is really interesting. Everyone's pretty spread out. It's not exactly 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%, but it's not that far off. So all of these things, a big mix of reasons that we face uh, challenges in stepping out of our comfort zone. This last one, the number one word is growth. And the next one is balance. I like those two a lot. I think I'm definitely seeking both of those as well. Maybe I'm erring a little more toward balance than growth, but I think it's always important to uh, I think balance always comes with some growth. So I think that's great. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into breakout rooms. So we're going to go in breakout rooms and discuss that first question. So take a look at it again. When you set a new goal, what motivates you the most? You're going to share your answers to this. You're going to have your student leads in those breakout rooms. You might have an alumni in the breakout rooms. But the main goal is just to talk about this, ask some good follow-up questions, see what it is that motivates you, and maybe explore why. Why is that the most motivating? Or maybe you're going to explore what vision are you charting toward right now? What's that end result vision you have in mind that's guiding your current behavior? I look forward to hearing back from you. We're going to go into those breakout rooms for 4 minutes, and I will see you soon. So, when you set a new goal, what motivates you most? Awesome. All right. See ya. Okay. Amanda, have you hopped into any of the breakout rooms before?
I have not. I was planning on doing it, but I just don't know how to do it.
Okay. Sheila, take it
Yep.
away.
I'll assign you to one. Wait a moment. All right, that one. Oh, sorry. I assigned Kim. Oh,
I was
dang.
like, I'm still here.
Wait, that's not.
Mhm.
I close it.
Hey, everybody. Hey everyone, welcome back. All right, so I would love to hear from some student leaders and alumni. I'd love either for you to share something you like that stood out to you in your group, or even potentially share a little bit about someone else who said something really cool in your group that you kind of want to nominate for the best answer. I'll kick it off, Georgina. I know it's a cold call, but are you cool with sharing some stuff that you got out of your breakout room?
Yes, that's fine. I what I noticed was that a lot of us chose the vision of the end result.
Hmm.
And it was, for me personally, it was just like, just seeing that process and knowing that we're going to end well and that everything is going to be done was really interesting to me. But I also want to popcorn it to Emily because she went a little in depth with the answer.
Awesome. Emily, what'd you say?
I said that I picked the end result because it's just something that I could look forward to. Like, okay, I'm gonna know the outcome, and it's like motivating.
Awesome. Is there anything you're focused on right now where you can see kind of the outcome you have in mind and you're excited about it?
I think graduating high school and like starting my nursing school journey.
That's amazing. That is really exciting. It's just around the corner now, too, right? Just a few more months. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing, Emily. I really appreciate it. Nayeli or Ellen, either of you want to go?
I actually kind of forgot what I had answered, but I think something that motivates me. Actually, I think I might have put like the growth.
Awesome. Why
Yeah,
that?
because
Does that motivate you? Yeah.
I've been I've been on a journey. I'm trying to like be better for myself, right? And so like if I can prove to myself that like I can get things done and I can grow and change, like that just gives me more of a reason to keep trying with new things.
Mm, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that too. And I really like hearing that idea of kind of seeing where you've come from, seeing where you're going, and how even seeing that progress and seeing that can help build that confidence over time and being like, oh yeah, I am gonna serve better for myself. And I think that's really awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Nayeli. Um, Ellen, did anything stand out to you in your group, or is there anyone you want to nominate because they had such a good answer?
In my breakout room, noticed that everyone was saying the vision of the end result or the
Hmm.
excitement of starting something new,
Ooh.
which is also what I chose. I chose the vision of the end result. I think that just like imagining, like me completing the goal is what really motivates me.
Awesome. Is there any goal you're working on right now, Ellen?
What I guess my goal would be like getting a 3.5 to 4.0 when I graduate.
Yeah, get it. I love that. I love that you have the vision insight too. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. All right, cool. I love hearing all those things. And this semester, what's really fun as we kick it off is we're getting some refreshers over what we covered last semester. We covered all kinds of things, and I'm going to ask you what stood out to you from last semester. But one of the things I want to be sure to celebrate is y'all like killed it when it came to earning money. So, right here, you get a quick little view of those of you who earned this last semester. Huge congratulations. I'd love to see an emoji, some kind of excitement, whether you earned last semester and you're excited about the fact that you earned, or you know that this semester you're putting your mind to it and you will definitely be an earner this semester. I love all of it. So, congratulations. Huge, huge, huge big news for you all. Congrats on earning that money. And just appreciate the time you put into this workshop. So thank you. Awesome. Okay, thank you, Sheila. And we're going to transition from here into our workshop. So, as we go forward, today's workshop, we're going to be focusing on the fundamentals of mindset. Y'all are already killing it. You're talking about having that vision, having that growth, knowing what you're going after and why you want to go after it. So I love that y'all are already so in tune with this. And today we're just going to dive a little bit deeper and talk about it a little bit more. We can go to the next slide. So some of our learning objectives today, we're going to revisit some of what we covered last semester. So we're going to talk more about vision, finding that direction and purpose, setting some really good goals. We're also going to talk about comfort zone again. So again, last semester, we talked about comfort zone. We actually talked about three different types of zones a person can operate in. We talked about the comfort zone. We talked about the risk zone, which is where you're just beyond your comfort zone. Things are feeling a little uncomfortable, but you're striving for it anyway. And then we talked about the panic zone, where it's like, get me out of here. I cannot function. So that really good sweet spot for growing is right outside of the comfort zone in that risk zone, where you're taking on stretch goals. You're taking on something a little bit different from what you've already been able to do. And that is challenging and that pushes you. And then we're going to focus a little bit on what you want to get out of these next 12 weeks, because each one of you gets to decide. You are you're like in a video game, you are the main character, you are the main player in your game, and you get to decide exactly what you want to get out of the end of this game. And so you're looking at these next 12 weeks. You all will be approaching graduation. You will be finishing up mid-April, and I know you still have a couple months left after that until you graduate. But think of this as if you imagine who you want to be from here to then. Really try to take ownership of that person, and each week we come together, be thinking, how can I be that person even more that I want to be at the end of this 12 weeks? Awesome. Let's go on to the next page. So we're going to cover what stuck with you from last semester. You're going to see all the names of the different workshops we covered last semester on here. So Youth Champion, it works like this. We've got 6 different pillars, and each pillar has 2 workshops per semester. So every one of these areas, mindset, critical thinking, financial literacy, all of these things, we're going to be covering again, new workshops with new ideas this upcoming semester. But it's going to be the same overarching ideas. So we're going to start with these ones. In mindset, we covered think like a champion, ready, set, grow. In critical thinking, we covered see what you're missing and asking good questions. In financial literacy, we covered budgeting basics and banking, credit, and debt. In business skills, we covered work smarter and crossroads. In goal setting and time management, we covered SMART goals and time management. And then in character, we covered leadership traits and strength train your brain. And I know for me, I think these things on mindset, they always stand out to me. Critical thinking, I really liked the workshop on asking good questions, but I'd love to know what you all were thinking. Go ahead and drop in the chat one of these that stood out to you the most. And again, for me, I think mindset's a big one. Thinking about setting goals, so that's more in the goal setting and time management. But thinking about setting really good and applicable goals, relevant goals, is something that always stands out to me. I loved the class on asking good question. That's actually has helped change how I ask questions, even in something like this situation here, being more thoughtful about what kind of follow-up questions can I ask? What matters to this person? So I love all of this. I'm getting some great answers in here. Goal setting and time management, business skills, financial literacy, goal setting. Again, goal setting and time management, a lot of goal setting and time management. Brianna Diaz, I would love to hear a little more about what you put here. So you wrote goal setting and time management. What stood out to you about that?
Probably making schedules.
Mm. Tell me more. Did you start making any schedules? Did you use schedules during winter break? How does this work for you?
Yeah, I took time to like do schoolwork.
Like over the break or during the
Yeah,
semester?
I have a competition and I need to study for that. So
What
yeah,
competition do you have coming up?
it's for table setting, FCCLA.
That's so cool. When's the competition?
Um, regionals is in February, and
So
then
regionals.
state
Okay. Yeah,
and then
go ahead.
state is in April.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited that you're able to set a schedule and start really setting aside time to work on this thing so that when it comes to competing, you can nail it. And I love that. So thank you for sharing about that, Brianna, and excited for February. That's great. Okay, so I'm seeing some business skills, some more goal setting and time management, some character. Luis, I gotta ask you about this just because you have so many reactions over here. Some clown faces, some wilting hearts, and some nerd faces going on. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with your goal setting and time management. What stood out to you here?
Sorry, Miss Alexander Tinoco, being a punk. Uh, the
All right, well, let's ignore the punkness and we can just ask what stood out to you about this area.
what stood out to me was the goal setting the most
All
because
right,
I
how
like
so?
setting
Yeah.
goals.
What kind of goals have you been setting recently that were influenced by this workshop?
Uh, I haven't really set any goals, but there's like one thing that stuck with me.
Okay, cool. Well, we will talk more about goal setting today. So I think if that's something that was sticking with you, maybe we can set some goals together for what these next 12 weeks can look like. So love that and love that idea and mind. And I am getting down here to the very end. I'll call on the other Luis, Luis Alvarado. You said the one thing, or the one that stood out the most was time management. So it was a specific workshop in that overall set of goal setting and time management. Why did time management stand out to you?
That stood out to me because like I gotta um just like think about like stuff I could do like that's more important than others. Like saying I could play video games instead of doing my homework or something like that.
Awesome. So weighing in any moment what matters to you most. So you're spending time on the things that matter you most. I really appreciate you sharing. Thank you, Luis. Let's go on to the next slide. So a lot of you brought up different areas. Some of you brought up things like SMART goals. But even in all these other areas like time management, financial literacy, business skills, character, I think everyone covered at least one of these areas. That can always feed into our vision and goal. I am curious for someone to tell me a little bit about how they personally would define the difference between a vision and a goal. Um, Georgina, I am curious. I, for you, how would you define the difference between those two?
I feel like a vision is, for me personally, it would be something like well, no, because goal is the same thing. Okay. Well, vision is like something in the future that's like the long term, like, okay, that's the vision, that's where I have to go. And then the goal is like the step by step, like the steps to the vision. That's how I
Yeah.
see it.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Georgina. I think that's a really, really, really good point. So saying that there is a vision is this broad idea, this understanding of knowing who you want to be or what you want to be. And then the goals are the steps it takes to get to that vision. So love that definition. Would anyone add anything to that, or would they define it differently? Anyone disagree with Georgina? That's okay too. We might all have different definitions. Nayeli, what's up?
I actually disagree.
Say
Um,
more.
I believe a vision is somewhere where you would like to see yourself, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is your goal. You're not trying to get there, but it's just like, oh, I see myself being like a model or something in my future, but it's just something I see myself in. But probably, let's say, like getting a master's degree in college is my goal.
Hmm.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what's necessary to get there. Unlike, like, let's say if I want to pursue a modeling career, I'll do the stuff that I need to get there. But the vision is just not necessarily having to do anything for it.
Okay, cool. I like that difference that you brought up. So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nayeli, is that you're saying the vision it doesn't need to be specifically connected to goals. It can be an overarching idea of what you see yourself as being. Is that sort of correct? Or how would you correct me to get me more in line with what you were saying?
No, I think that's correct. Yeah, a vision does not necessarily have to be a goal. A vision could be a goal, but I think there's a very fine line between them.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So it sounds like there is a little bit of a Venn diagram there where there is potentially some overlap, but there is some distinct differences. So I liked what you were saying too, Nayeli. There was a moment when you said maybe my vision is being a model, and eventually I'll do what it takes to kind of get there. I think that sometimes we don't have goals associated with our visions, but we're taking it one step at a time. We know what we kind of want someday, but maybe we're just not ready to create goals around that yet. We know what we have in mind, and we're not at that step yet of creating goals. I think that Georgina's point is really interesting too. That idea that if we have a vision for ourselves and we have this direction and we have this purpose, if we can start setting some goals on the way, it might make that vision come closer and closer and closer every step so that the two end up merging together. Whereas the two are distinctly separate. Having a vision is different from having a goal. A vision is more who you want to be in the end, and that goal is specific steps that might not even be related to the vision you have. So I loved both of those answers. Thank you both for sharing. And so, yeah, I'll expand on it just a little bit more, but y'all were nailing it. Vision provides direction and purpose. So if you have a strong vision for what you want, that really helps hone in on like, okay, what can I do? Or what is aligned with my vision? What kind of behavior is in line with that? And then a SMART goal. This acronym here, I would love for someone to read for me. James Calderon, would you please read the SMART goal box here on the bottom right, just reading off the acronym words.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything for anyone on this that strikes them as maybe the easiest part of a SMART goal? I'm curious. Anything strike them as that part is fairly simple?
I guess like the most simple part would be like the specifics. Like you can say your goal, but listing everything else is more difficult because you're gonna
Okay,
have to
cool.
imagine that.
I love that. Thank you, Melanie. So basically, the idea of that specific, like if you set a goal, like you know what you want, that's much more simple than finding out ways to measure it, finding out like what is the exact time frame, all those other things that add to it. It's more like that first preliminary part, knowing kind of what your wish is before turning it into a goal. So I appreciate that. Thank you. What does do any of these strike somebody as the hardest, the most difficult of these things? And there's no right or wrong answer here. It's going to depend person to person.
I can go.
Sure.
I was thinking measurable because currently I have like a really, really like put out extensive, like there's so much on my schedule that I wouldn't be able to like, okay, so I need to spend this time doing this. Because it's like I would have to like measure, like I'd have to know when I would be able to spend time doing that goal. And it's like an entire process with like calendars, and it's a lot going into measuring how I would be able to attain it.
Awesome. I really appreciate that, especially because I think the experience you're expressing is really, really, really common. I've got a lot of stuff going on, and I think a lot of us do have a lot of stuff going on where it's like, well, I have not just school, extracurriculars, some people are competing in table setting competitions. You've got people who are part of clubs, who are leaders of clubs, who are in sports, who do music. And then on top of that, family responsibilities, friend responsibilities. Maybe you have to babysit your sister. Maybe you have to babysit your brother. Maybe you have to tutor somebody. There are so many things that can pile up that it can be hard to think, okay, how do I create something that I can actually take a look at and see, am I succeeding toward my goal when there's so many things that might get in the way of actually me being able to start working toward it? How do I create something that's meaningful when I create something measurable, when there's a lot of competing priorities? So I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing, Georgina. And yeah, so these are again going to be specific. That means knowing what you want, and it has to be something really clear, not just like I will get good grades, but I loved when Ellen was sharing earlier 3.5 to 4.0. That's specific. Measurable. Actually, her measurable is already in there. She knows exactly, like, there is a measurement of success. It is that. Achievable. So it's important here is that it is something that you can do. So if I said today, I am going like to in the next year, I want to be the lead ballet dancer of the New York Ballet. That's not achievable. I don't do ballet now. It's not going to happen in the next year that I reach that level. So in terms of achievability, I should bring down my goal a little bit to make it something I could actually accomplish. Then relevant. Relevant is really interesting because it means, does this matter to you really? Like, is it something relevant to your life? So, a lot of times, especially around New Year's, people create a lot of goals that seem smart and seem good to create, right? Like, oh, I should start meditating or I should do this. And a lot of times, those shoulds are actually not the most relevant thing because there's other things that are more in line with what we want to do that create a better guide stick for what goals are relevant to us. And then time bound just means that you've got a constricted time limit on it. So if I were to say, I'm going to get good grades and just left it in there, maybe I get all Fs this semester, but I wasn't talking about this semester. I mean, next semester I'll get good grades. So having something clear about what time period it's happening in is that last one. Let's go to the next slide. You're going to get 90 seconds here to fill in your online workbook question. This is describe a goal you set in the last year and how did it go? Go ahead and play. Okay, awesome. So I want you to locate your react button. I want to get some emojis out there. The second part of this, so first was to describe a goal you set, and the second was how did it go? I would love to see you describe how it went using an emoji. So go ahead and have that emoji float across your screen, showing me how it went. Okay, I'm seeing a thumbs up from Yadi. Love that. Some thumbs up. Nayeli was a little bit smiley. Isabella was a turtle as usual. Okay. Lots of thumbs ups. I will say mine was mixed. I definitely okay, roller coaster. Eduardo, I don't know if your goal was to go on the roller coaster or if the experience was a roller coaster. Can you fill me in?
It was like to get over my fear of roller coasters.
Dude, I didn't know that when you were sharing about roller coasters earlier that it was actually overcoming a fear. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you went about overcoming that fear?
Oh yeah, my brother made me like you better go on that roller coaster because he paid for my ticket.
Awesome. Okay, so does your brother normally stretch your comfort zone a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a big fan of your brother. But I hope it was a great experience for you. It sounds like now you have some roller coasters under your belt that you are liking. Do you feel like you still have room to grow in your overcoming this fear? Are there roller coasters that are next on your list?
Oh yeah, there's a few I want to go on, but like they're in like Texas, so hopefully I'll
Okay,
get on
well,
them
road
one day.
trip. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, Eduardo. I love that that your goal was to overcome a fear and like take on that challenge. And what I think is really cool too, actually, is you brought up your brother. And I think so often in life, overcoming fears, overcoming challenges, all of that, it is better with other people. And it is more helpful to have other people there who are spurring us on. So, Eduardo, thank you so much for sharing that. Super cool. And let's go on to our next slide. Okay, growth mindset and expanding your comfort zone. Eduardo, you can teach this part of the workshop, but there's comfort zone and then there's growth. So the main idea here is that as we grow, there's a few different areas. I mentioned them earlier, the comfort zone, the risk zone, and the panic zone. And there's a few really big things about operating in that area that is that risk zone. So you can go ahead and share those three little things on the slide. But there's a lot of really positive things about expanding the comfort zone. One is that it actually helps our brains get stronger. It helps strengthen new neural connections that help rewire our brain to be more okay with the risks that we're taking. So over time, you might find that where your comfort zone is here, by taking on those new risks, you end up elevating. And so now this new part here is now part of your comfort zone. And this is your new like area that you're able to operate in, and this is your new risk zone. So it helps strengthen that connection. So that part that you were once afraid of, you're no longer afraid of, which is super cool. And then failure, this is, I cannot express this enough. Failure and discomfort, it is never, ever, ever like a bad thing. We're learning all the time. It's all your perspective on it. So feeling uncomfortable, super important and a really good sign of strength. And I'm going to say this isn't in here, but I would just recommend to not compare your comfort zone to the comfort zone of others. Everyone has a different comfort zone. Everyone has had different experiences that have brought them to where they are today. So something that might be like uncomfortable for you might come really naturally to someone else. And that's not a bad thing that you are uncomfortable in that situation. It is a really cool opportunity for you to grow. And then we've got stretch goals here. So stretch goals are those ones just a little bit further than what you're currently comfortable with and can help you take on something new and develop that resilience, be able to bounce back when things go wrong because you're taking on more challenges and seeing sometimes they succeed, sometimes they don't work out. No matter which way it happens, you're working closer and closer and closer to success. So failure is always part of success. It is just naturally entwined. And having those moments of having challenges and needing to get back up, super big for developing a growth mindset. Let's go to the next slide. Awesome. Oh, okay. We're going to dive right back in to an online workbook question. Here it says, think of a recent moment when you chose comfort over challenge. So this is a moment when you were thinking, ooh, I could expand my comfort zone, but I'm a little too afraid, so I'm not going to. or I'm a little too uncomfortable. It doesn't need to be fear. It could be something else. It could be just discomfort. If you could rewind that moment, what small risk could you take instead, and how might that help you grow? And I'll give you an example because sometimes it's hard to think of the things we didn't do. Sometimes it's really easy, but sometimes it's a little bit challenging. So recently, I went out to karaoke with a whole bunch of my team members. And my team members, they love karaoke. Does anyone here like singing? Go ahead and raise a hand. Give me an emoji. Do you like singing? Okay, Jernina didn't give me a thumbs up. Nayeli says yes. So some people love singing. We got like two people. Let's go karaoke right after this. Um, um, but I enjoy singing a lot, but I didn't grow up doing karaoke. I don't do it very often. I am more used to doing it where it's like musical theater or something where it is a planned and staged thing. I know people are there to listen to me. And so actually what makes me uncomfortable singing in a karaoke setting is I feel like I am an imposition to other people. Even though it's part of a game, and it's a fun way to express time together, I think that I get uncomfortable feeling like, oh, well, but this wasn't exactly planned in the way a solo normally would be. And so I think that a way for me to get over that would just be to dive in. It took me a while to feel like, okay, maybe I'll sing a song. But that was something where I'm like, oh, if I just dove in, I would have had a lot more fun experiencing it with everybody else at the same time. And so sometimes what might help you grow is just being more comfortable, being willing to take the spotlight, or maybe it's being more comfortable hanging out with friends, being more comfortable having fun, whatever it may be, all of that can be part of growth. So you're going to spend 90 seconds answering this question. Go for it. Awesome. Okay. I know this one's a little different. Does anyone have anything they would feel comfortable sharing with the group? All right, then a different question. I'd love for you to drop into the chat. What do you think you would gain? So that end part, how might that help you grow? What do you gain by pushing your comfort zone? How does it help you grow? Throw something in the chat. Maybe you feel bolder. Maybe you feel stronger. Maybe you feel more excited. Maybe it's a feeling of confidence. Go ahead and show me in the chat what you gain by pushing that comfort zone. More confident, gain confidence. Yes. Awesome. I love that. Ooh, perspective. Alexander. I like that one a lot. Okay, the appropriate advice, support, and balance. Yeah, by pushing your comfort zone, you can actually sometimes get what you need to get from the outside world and from yourself. Makes you bolder, confidence, 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 confidence. Oh, love that word. Okay, I'm really curious. Alexander, you said perspective. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you meant when you said that?
I guess you get, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, miss. I'm sitting next to a not so smart person.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna take that just for a minute and say everyone here is actually smart. People are smart in different ways. Appreciate you going on mute for a second there, but please go ahead and share a little more about what your thoughts were here with perspective.
I feel like you look at things in a different from like a different perspective when you're able to put yourself in situations you're not comfortable in because you're able to, I guess, gain perspective, seeing things from like angles you wouldn't see it from like other people's perspectives, your own, and then you're able to, like, I don't know, take on the challenge with like an open mind.
That's such a good answer, Alexander. I love that. I love that. It's almost as simple as saying, like, when you're on a single road and you're going down it, that you are like that's your comfort zone is being on that road. And being out on the side of the road or in a bush on the side of the road might be outside of your comfort zone. But literally, just by moving your location, you see things in a different way. And I think that's a really profound answer, Alexander. So thank you so much for sharing. All right, let's go to our last key point. We're going to start wrapping this bad boy up. Okay. Now we are just going to spend a couple minutes thinking about what we want out of this upcoming semester. Again, you have 12 weeks left. So you have 12 weeks until Youth Champions is over, another month, 2 months until you graduate, and you are then an adult in the real world. You're doing real people things out there with everybody else all the time. No more normal K to 12 schooling. And that's a big change in life. So I want you to think about who you want to be 12 weeks from now. All this preparation, knowing who you want to be, it's all going to start in your own mind. And success does always start in your own mind. It's what you think and what you believe you can do that helps define what you're actually able to accomplish. So right now, I want you to start thinking about what this looks like. Team, you can put all the parts up on this slide. But it's an opportunity and it's a safe opportunity to practice growth, to practice challenging yourself, to practice being really uncomfortable and saying, okay, but if I am uncomfortable today, what will I gain from this in the future? So I think that this is a really, really, really awesome time. I want you to think about this very seriously. When I think about where I want to be 12 weeks from now, I think about someone who is bolder, who is more organized, more balanced. I have a list of things of who I want to be 12 weeks from now. And I have an opportunity now to take it into the present and think, okay, if those are the things I want, I'm going to start owning those right now. I'm going to start saying things to myself like, I am a balanced person. I am an organized person. And as that starts taking root in my own brain, I will start seeing the results because I'll take ownership over what I know I can accomplish in these next 12 weeks. So I ask that you stay curious and get excited about what's coming. We're going to spend 90 seconds here answering our last workbook question here. And this is all about really setting up for that semester 2 and thinking about who do you want to be at the end of these 12 weeks. So if you were to come to me 12 weeks from now and I said, hey, whoever you are, Alexander, Georgina, Eduardo, Melanie, whoever you are, your name, insert here. And I said, how have these last 12 weeks been for you? And you said, wow, they've been amazing because I took ownership over XYZ and now this is the kind of person I am. And I am amazed at the progress I've made in these last 12 weeks. So I'm asking, what kind of person do you want to be in 12 weeks where when we talk to each other again, you can be like, wow, this is what I've become and it's amazing. And what mindset will you need to practice every single week as we work from here to there to get to that place? All right, we're going to spend 90 seconds. Go ahead and answer this question. Thank you. Okay, awesome. All right, so I want to see, again, I'm going to have you use reactions, those emojis. I want to see an emoji or a reaction that expresses who you want to be 12 weeks from now. So it might be a heart if you're feeling really passionate about yourself, if you're giving yourself more self-love. Maybe it is a person running because you want to do really well at your sport and you want to really be determined and dedicated in there. So it can be metaphorical, it can mean something, it just means something to you. Go ahead and share that emoji that helps describe who you want to be at the end of these 12 weeks. I got one from Melanie. Thank you, Melanie. That was a star. I like it. While other people are putting their emojis in here, I see some hearts. Um, awesome. Melanie, would you mind sharing what that star meant to you?
It's basically just being able to like freely express myself and like stand out. That's what I'm trying to do, especially since
Awesome.
be graduating and be your own person in the world.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Melanie. I love all of these emojis. I know there's still a few more emojis coming in as people find the ones that make the most sense to them. I've seen some buildings, some footprints, all kinds of things. We are going to go to the next slide. Thank you for sharing all these. I love them. You can keep them coming while I talk about the next workshop. But our next workshop is going to be about investment. So we're switching gears real quick to talk about financial literacy for a couple weeks. So the next one is on investments. We're going to talk about risk and return. We're going to talk about things like ROI. It's super, super useful and super important. So I'm actually really stoked about this workshop. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. And we're going to spend the next 90 seconds finishing up the questions in your workbook and completing your survey starting now. Go for it. All right, great. So we just have a couple announcements to wrap us up today and get y'all out of here. But we have some really awesome things coming up. You all know the way you earn points is how you earn money. So going to more and more of these things is important. So our first field trip is to Junior Achievement Finance Park. That's going to be on February 7th and 14th. The RSVP deadline is January 30th. So sign up for that one. We have two different date options. And we're excited to do that. It's a very interactive experience where you get like a tablet and a profile and you know who you are and you go around and do cool things. I'm going to ask Sheila to give some context over. I know Banning also does attend this with Miss Finley. If you are attending it with Miss Finley, you will get points and you do not need to come on this field trip. So you get points separately, but we get the roster of people who attend from Miss Finley. Then you've got the Ignite Speaker Series. Our next speaker, super cool. He is a top performing company right now, but he's only in his 20s. This speaker is Miller McCoy. He will be speaking on February 2nd. For those of you who may not remember, the Ignite Speaker Series, it's always bonus points, which means if you ever miss a workshop or if you're worried sometime you might miss a workshop, coming to this is going to give you that extra point. Extra 2 points, one for attending, having your camera on, all that stuff, and the other for the survey. So the RSVP deadline for that, also January 30th. So get these RSVPs in by January 30th. And then finally, the College Match program. So we would love to know if you are part of College Match. We are just getting a survey of everyone who is in Youth Champions. So go ahead and fill that out real quick. We just want to know, are you part of College Match or not? If you've never heard of it before, chances are you're not part of it. So it's something where you would know if you are part of it. Again, if you haven't heard of it, you're not part of it. I want to end by just saying thank you. I am so grateful to see you all again. You are such a highlight for me, and I've missed you all winter. I'm excited to see you again, and I look forward to spending this upcoming semester with you all. All right, with that, I'll see you later. Bye, everyone. Send me emojis while you're on your way out. I love the emojis. Thank you. Hearts, 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 thumbs ups. Turtle, thank you, Isabella, as always. Lots of hearts. Oh, I love them all. Okay, thank you all so much. See you later. Thank you. Lots of
Miss.
hearts.